guys, it's April. This is your Wednesday file for all of my monthly supporters and my one-time Ko-fi supporters. If you support tonight by midnight on one-time support, you can get access to this file. Or if you're a monthly supporter, you will have access to it for as long as you are subscribed. This is a tea light lantern, and we're going to put it together, but I wanted to go over a couple of things in the files. This gray represents vellum, and you will see when we go to the overhead. I use this file right here. I use the splattered printable wallpaper or digital paper, and I printed it on vellum. And we will cover more about that, but here is the link to that. If you use that link and you purchase the same pattern that I'm using, then I will earn a small commission, and I greatly appreciate that. But you can look through at design bundles. You may want to use something different from me, but if you're like most with the Halloween parties here in 2020, your kids may not be going out, or you may be doing a home party instead. And with that paper pack that I used, you could do your whole entire decor with various papers out of that pack. It's a really nice pack. So let's go on over to the overhead and take a look. Now, before I do that though, my vellum, I did not do it as a, you can do a pattern upload if you want, but you might want to group everything and make it smaller, because if you don't, you're only going to get one panel per 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper because of our print and cut restraints. So what I did is I just opened up my file. Let me show you that real quick. So I have my file here, and all I did was select the one out of the group that I wanted to use. You have 10 different papers here. So I just did the plain splatter instead of the one with the spider webs on it. And I'm just going to double click it, and it's going to open up for me. And then I'm going to go to File and to Print. Now my printer will print 12 by 12, and I have it set up. I have a setup for myself here to do 12 by 12, and I print it. If you can only print 8.5 by 11, you can do 8.5 by 11 and then just maneuver your papers to fit on there best that you can. If you can do 12 by 12 though, it will be much better for you, and you will get more sheets out of there. Or you can, again, make it smaller and flatten for print and cut. Now I did print this on vellum, and I will show that to you here in just a moment. It does take vellum a little bit longer to dry because it's like a plastic type paper, but I use inkjet on it. I don't have any problem with it. I do not buy the printable kind. What I got is just the 12 by 12 sheets from Hobby Lobby. So pick your vellums. If you want to do printable, you can do printable. They will probably dry just a little bit faster. And let's pop over to the overhead and put this together. Oh, before I pop over there, I want to also let you know, in this file, I have done this grouping here, but in this file, you're going to find another group. Where is that? Here it is. This is an untouched grouping. I'm just going to slide down and show it to you. So you guys can go in and weld in your own images. All you want to do is make sure they're touching in strategic points so that they stay in there. And then you can weld and make your lantern anything that you want with any of the images that you want. The images I used here is actually a font off of the font, and I believe it was, I think it was Freaky Halloween. There's Disney Halloween, so you could do a Disney one, but I used Freaky Halloween on this, and I used the witch, the spiderweb, the ghost, and the cat out of there. But there are several in there, so you may want to download a couple of Halloween fonts or some that have the little webdings or whatever you want to call them in there, and create your own. But I did want you to know that that is in there in the file, and I'm going to save it. So you don't need to cut this gray one unless you want to use it. And I would suggest doing a save as and opening up the gray one and doing it all in a separate file. That way you don't bog your file down. But I did want you to know that you have a blank in there to work with in case you want to change any of the images. All right, let's pop over to the overhead. Okay guys, so here we are, and here is my vellum. I have printed it. Now vellum is kind of weird, so when you print this, it will kind of warp around on you. But I'm going to say when you cut it, cut your ink side up, since this is not a printable. You don't want to damage your ink, so cut it ink side up. But when you put it in your lantern to protect the ink, you can put it in with your ink to the back. And it shouldn't matter any of that. It will take 2 sheets because you can only get 4 out of a 12 by 12 sheet at the size that we have it. Okay guys, so here we are. Now while I was cutting, got an idea. I really didn't like the idea of putting this in backwards to protect my ink. So what I did is I used some Shortcuts. This is a Krylon. It's just an acrylic spray. You can use matte gloss, whatever you want, but I really like the way that it made that pop and kind of look like a plastic. So you can do that and spray it on. And I mean, I literally took it out. I stuck these to an old mat, went out, sprayed it very lightly, just very lightly spray. You don't want to get heavy-handed on it, just enough to seal your ink. And I brought it in and took my hair dryer to it for just a few minutes, and it was dry, or dry enough to work with. I mean, you can see it's not even tacky. So only took me a couple of seconds, but you do want to do that in a ventilated area, but it's not required. You don't have to. So next you can decide what order you want to put your pieces in. Totally random, up to you. Be careful taking them off the mat because they are a little delicate. I am going to go ahead and just fold mine just to help me when I glue it together. They all have a score line on it. I'm just going to take my bone folder, and then I'm just going to open it back up. I did tear my spider web taking it off the mat. That's why I said be very careful when you take them off. I did cut mine on Intricate. This is Cricut cardstock. This is Hobby Lobby Vellum. There is a setting for Vellum. If you use that, it should cut perfectly fine. Now, because this is so fine, I did use my deep cut blade. It's not required, but when cutting black cardstock, I tend to have better luck cutting intricate stuff with my deep cut blade, and that is your black blade. You don't have to have the black housing to use your deep cut for something like this. You do need this housing if you're cutting a thicker material, but for paper, you can just use the blade itself, okay? There is a difference in the blade. It has a 60-degree angle, so it pivots a little easier when you get into that small, intricate stuff. And it works on vinyl, too. Doesn't cut any deeper, just turns easier. And you just put it in your regular housing for those. Again, you will need that housing if you're cutting a thick material, like leather or faux leather. I don't think faux leather even uses it, but some of your leathers and stuff, your suedes, they do. So this one, this is the top piece, and I just made those as one to make it a little bit easier for assembly. So you're just going to fold it on all of its scores. All the scores are folded away from you, or to the back, or mountain folds, however you want to say it. Everybody calls them different things, but everything is a mountain fold. I even missed my score line right there. Oops. Maybe it'll turn out well anyway. Just over it. And your bone folder is going to give you that nice crisp line so it goes together well. Alright, so you have all of your pieces and you've got them scored. I am then going to flip mine over. Now you can use a tape runner, or you can use your art glitter glue or whatever glue that you have. But I am just going to go, didn't really want to get it on there. I'm going to go around these edges. Just stick my vellum down. And I'm just going to choose a piece, and I think I had chosen this one to be at the top. the yellow looking one. And I'm just going to line that up in there and place it down. Okay, just like so, just to the inside. And I put my yellow piece up here for the sky. And you'll see once we get our light in there. And the rest of them are just going to be totally random. If you prefer to glue your vellum in, of course you could do that. I usually do this on a Teflon sheet, but I forgot to get it out. Doing pretty good though. And I might just in the middle of that cap. Just get it to the inside of your score and get it on straight and you'll be fine. Just press it down. How cool looking is that? We're going to do our other pieces here. I could do that straight, but I didn't. Let's see. It's out of tape. Let me pause a moment and change. It didn't dawn on me that some of you may have gotten one of these from close to my heart as well. So you're just going to take your refill. There's a little button on the back, and you just slide it. You open that up, and then just drop this back in and close it, and then we're just going to lock it back up. That's all there is to that. We're going to get it started. There we go. Super easy, super simple to change those. So there you have all of your pieces. Next, we're going to take, and like I said, decide which way you want to put yours down. And I am going to use glue here. And I'm going to glue this first tab. And we're just going to line that up on the score, right beside the score, not on top of it. Just going to line it up, make sure it's even at the bottom, give that a press. I'm going to come back around and do this one. I'll place that panel. And I did these in these pieces this way so that you could size it up or down if you wanted to go smaller with them or make different sizes for your tablescapes and things like that you could. Or you could make them larger. But if I did them in two pieces like we normally would a box or a lantern, then you're pretty size limited. Okay. And then we're just going to bring this one around and glue it. And you could use this for other occasions too, and even use the foil acetate in. So I'm just going to fold that over, line that one up. Give that a press. My vellum's making it want to draw, but that's okay. And then we're just going to open that up, and then you're going to glue your lid in place. Just going to square everything up, just making sure everything fits. Oops, my vellum came loose. I didn't stick it well. That's on that side that I missed the adhesive on. That's what it is. Yeah, make sure you get your adhesive in there. That's the one where I ran off the side. Give that a second to dry. Well, we're just going to square that up and tuck those right in side, just like so, just like you would a box. I think I'm going to pop my vellum out and put some on that booth so it keeps it pulled tight. And then you can, if you want to temporary tape these, you can, so that they lay flat. And then you can use them again for another holiday. You can store them easy. You might want to do temporary tape on this part just so that you can lay them flat afterwards. I am going to actually glue mine, so I'm just going to come in on these 3 taps. My glue is trying to clog up on me so quick. There we go. Don't need a lot. It's trying to give me a huge issue. Hopefully that fixed it. Now we're getting some flow. I must have left the cap off without realizing. Okay, for some reason my camera cut off. All I did was glue those in, guys, and then I just went onto the inside and pressed it down and made sure that it was glued. And the next thing you want to do is take your candle, and I have one of those lights that change. I'm looking for it. But you're just going to set that over your candle, and you can use different size candles, and it's going to be hard for you to see it on the side. I will take some photos for you guys, but you can see that the light will shine through that vellum pretty good. And the larger your light, or the brighter your light, of course, the more glow you're going to get. But that's just one of the Dollar Tree ones that has the flickering flame, and it works perfectly fine. It's not going to show up too good on camera, but it does show up pretty well in person. So go ahead and put yours together. If you change it up, use different holidays and stuff, or even if you use what I did, make yours and post your photos in the group and let us see what you did with that. You guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and I will catch you on the next video. Have a great day.